if I could only do one thing for the rest of my life, it would be the podcast.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's interesting because we're so cerebral, like we're always thinking. And what you keep coming back to is something I think is important for people to always kind of consider, which is we're always thinking about what we should do, and we're never actually like checking in with our body and being like, hey, what feels right? What feels wrong? Because one of the things you brought up is like going to a job and going to a job that you hate. Like it requires so much energy to get yourself to a job that you hate. It requires so much mental energy. It requires so much physical energy to get your ass up out of bed and go to a job where you feel like this is what the rest of my life looks like. I can look at my manager and say like, I don't want what he has. I don't want what she has. That's not the life that I want. And you continue to force yourself to go. I actually think it probably takes more mental energy to go do something that you hate than to actually do something that you love. And the thing that I've heard one time somebody say as a spiritual teacher was saying, when you do something that is out of alignment with what your soul's supposed to do, you have to come up with that energy. If you do something that is in alignment with what you're supposed to do, God or the universe will provide that energy. Like for me, when I get done with a podcast, when I am 100% positive, when we get done with this episode, I will have more energy than when we first started it. And it's not coming from me, it's coming from somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's the thing that people need to check in with more is like, where is my energy? Where do I feel the most alive? And where do I feel the least alive? Because there is energy that is always being used at every moment of your life. And if you're constantly thinking about like, how long do I have to do this? Damn it, I got to get myself out of bed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I hop out of bed. Fuck, I still don't want to go to this job. Like it's still happening all the time.
Yeah.
Versus like checking in with your soul and being like, what is it that I actually truly want to do? And so for me, I was blessed with, when I was younger, my father was an alcoholic. He passed away when I was 15 from being an alcoholic. And I was blessed with the fact of seeing the first person that I ever knew die, which was my father, in a casket, who had so many dreams. Like he was a dreamer and he was an incredible human. I always say I was lucky in the fact that he never beat me. He never touched me inappropriately. He never made me feel like shit or anything. He just got drunk and fell asleep, which obviously caused a lot of neglect issues from it. That was something I had to work through. But I remember seeing him and in his casket and sitting there, and it's, the casket's right here. And I'm on the sofa and my grandma, his mom, is next to me. Then it's my sister, and then it's my mom. And I remember looking at him and being like, no, I'm not going to die with regret. Like this guy had so many things he wanted to do. He was such a dreamer, but he never took any action towards anything he wanted to do.
That's why people drink.
Because you weren't taking the action that you wanted to? You were numbing.
Because you know that you're not living the life that you want to be living.
And you're numbing those feelings?
Yeah. And look, who knows what happened to your dad and what trauma he experienced and, what he was also self-soothing.
Oh, yeah. He walked into the room after his father killed himself when he was 12.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's a level of complex PTSD.
For sure.
That I'm sure he didn't get treatment for. And that lives in your nervous system. Mm-hmm. And if you don't do any of the amazing protocols that are out there to heal your nervous system, the only thing that is going to really allow you to escape from it is something that numbs you out.
For sure. And so I'm curious for you though, this is what's interesting is because we were like, well, let's go back to our parents and think about the way that our parents were with her and with me. And the one thing that my mom did do well, there was obviously some things that we can all talk about that maybe she had to work 3 jobs when my parents got divorced, so she wasn't around as much. But the one thing she said to me all the time is she always told me she was proud of me. And I think that gave me a level of, okay, no matter what I do, my mom's going to be proud of me. I think that was a big piece of it. When you hear of negative self-talk, do you think that a lot of it comes back to childhood where maybe the children were yelled at for not being the way that the parents wanted them to be? Or where do you think that it comes from?
Well, I think it comes from a number of places. So is it 0 to 5 that the brain's in a theta state?
0 to 7, yeah.
And it's
5,
like
7,
absorbing everything at Mach 10 speed.